Hey everyone, Diggs here for Lockpickers United, and welcome back to Mentorship Monday. Today I'm going to use some basic tools like this razor and a roll of pretty strong duct tape, plus a bunch of recycling that I pulled straight out of my garbage, and some random stuff that I just found laying around. And we're going to make some tripods. So first, let me clear all this out of my way. And here we go. So I'm going to use this calculator to represent my cell phone because I'm actually using my cell phone to film this video, which is my first point. So if you're going to make videos, cell phone cameras these days are actually pretty amazing as far as resolution goes and ability to film things. One of those applications out there that makes this even more impressive is called Open Camera. There's plenty of camera apps out there, and I'm sure a bunch of them are great. I just happen to use Open Camera because it lets me control some certain things that I want to. So here you can see a little red Solo cup turned into a tripod. Put that on top of a shoebox and you got some elevation. And you just got to be careful when you hit record so it doesn't fall over. My next idea, just so you know, I was literally making this stuff up in my head as I went. I mean, obviously, as I picked out the trash, I was like, I could maybe do that with it. But this was all just off the cuff. And I sped it up to 200%, so you can do the math and figure out how long it actually took me to make these. But this particular one here, where I fold up a triangle of cardboard and then use that strong duct tape, it turned out really well. So you can see I just tape it into a triangle shape, and then I cut some angles into it to accept my quote-unquote cell phone. And I'm pretty happy with the results on this. It's very stable. So I got to thinking about this after the fact and realized that if I had made this an equilateral triangle, I could have cut 6 different angles into the 6 different corners usable for the cell phone. So one piece of cardboard and one piece of duct tape, you can have a multi-angle cell phone holder for this whole process. This pasta box, I just really wanted to use this because it's got that clear window, and I shoved my cell phone in there just to see, and it does. It lines up perfectly. So I'm trying to think about how I can get this up into the air without it falling over every time I put a phone in it. And I decide that it needs to be on some like support beams. So I break out these paper towel rolls and decide those will be my beams. This duct tape that I've got is 3M brand 6969 tape, and it is extremely strong. I just so happen to have a roll of it. I think I got it for Father's Day, as a matter of fact. Just really good tape. But, you know, it doesn't have to be that. It could be super cheap duct tape off of the shelf in a 7-Eleven or some convenience store. Or really, if you use enough Scotch tape, I'm sure you could accomplish the same thing. So here I'm going to like tape these risers as an offset off of my shoebox. And I've used a setup almost exactly like this. It was a little bigger. It was a cheap cell phone tripod that I got off of Amazon, which recently broke, and a bin and some duct tape. So I had the phone in the tripod, and then I taped the legs of the tripod to the bin, set the bin on my workbench, and boom, I had a camera shot that was straight down over my work. And that's how I filmed Fabrication Friday #1, when I was showing you guys how to make a handled pick. It was set up almost exactly like this, just not as much garbage involved. So with a setup like this, it's actually extremely comfortable because you don't have a tripod right in your way. You can do work underneath it. You're unimpeded. And I highly recommend trying it out if you've never used this angle before. Definitely don't recommend paint can and pasta box, but there are better ways to do the exact same thing. So this card idea I had last, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work, and it didn't really work the way I had intended it. It seemed like the very simplest idea, and it wound up being the most annoying to get to work. And that was mostly due to the fact that I think my razor blade's getting kind of dull, so I had to borrow my 5-year-old son's scissors and cut these slots a little bit deeper. And you'll see, once I do that, the fake cell phone fits better, but it still doesn't hold itself. Like, I gotta break out the duct tape again. And with just this one piece, it makes the whole thing work. Just gotta kind of stay out of the way of where the phone's gonna be. And there it is. It's stable, but it's real low. And at the end of the day, as long as you don't mind working around things in front of you, like I am for this video, you can set that on top of basically anything. So there we knocked out 4 tripod setups in, I don't know, actual time. I think it was like 8 minutes. And that was with me running around the garage finding stuff. So here's my current setup that I'm using because of my broken tripod. It's a piece of that cell phone tripod clamped in my vise, which is sitting on top of a Dremel box. Now I'm going to stick the phone into the pasta box so you can see that above view. And because it's weak and the weight of the actual cell phone, you can see the paint can over on the side there. But you get the idea. You're right above the material. You can show off a lock real well that way. The only thing you got to watch out for is shifting shadows because you have to get that light underneath it. So this is the view from my cardboard triangle. I really actually like this. The angle is pretty solid. It's a little too close to the workbench, but you could easily fix that by using a bigger piece of cardboard. This is the view from the red Solo cup. And then I take the red Solo cup and put it up on top of the cardboard triangle just to demonstrate the point that it doesn't matter what is holding the phone because you can elevate that too. Not a bad shot. So to summarize, you can make a tripod, you can make a filming setup out of stuff that's around your house. You can improve your lighting situation very easily, although I still recommend just sitting by an open window because natural light generally does very well. You can use your cell phone as a camera because most smartphones have amazing cameras in them, and you can unlock their potential a little better with applications like Open Camera and others. In order to progress through the belt system, you're going to have to prove that you can actually pick these things and take them apart and put them back together. And it's not really that big of a deal. You don't have to make a full feature production out of it. It's just a proof video. I've got several of them that are really not entertaining because I didn't say a word. I just picked the lock and took it apart. And you can do the same thing. So now that we've shown you a little bit about filming, I want you to remember to come back on Fabrication Friday because Lock Lover is doing a video for us on challenge locks, which is another major barrier for people to reach their blue belt. There's all kinds of reasons not to make a challenge lock, but there are some really good reasons to make a challenge lock as well. And he's going to show us how to make the whole process easier on ourselves. So now we're going to be moving on into the results of the Silver Bullet competition. And I know that some of you have been waiting for a very long time because we had several entries on the very first day of this competition, which has been a month long. And we've had a couple of interesting entries as well from bigger names in lock sport. Lockpicking Lawyer did a video for us on his channel, and so did Lock Noob. We've gotten a bunch of emails on it. And for the people that reached out and asked questions about locks they were unsure of, thank you so much for doing that instead of entering at the last possible minute and then hoping that it would work. With all that being said, let's get into a live shot of my screen. I'm going to pull up 2 things. One is a list of all the contest entries just by name. I'm not going to show you the locks they picked or any of that. We individually verified each one. And the other is going to be random.org, which is a website we use for all of our giveaways, by assigning numbers to names and then choosing a value range and letting the website choose a random number for us. And if we have to choose multiple numbers, we just click the generate button a couple of times. So here we go. And here we go. Thinking. 3. Who's that? Star Lizard. Congratulations, Star Lizard. You just got yourself a brand new silver bullet for free. I will ship that out to you as soon as I get your address. So shoot that to me in an email at unitedlockpickers@gmail.com. And congratulations. Thanks again to everybody that participated. This is a higher level of participation than I anticipated, and it makes me really happy to see people reaching above where they think they can pick. So we'll see you tomorrow for Teardown Tuesday with Correct Genes. Happy picking.